Hey, how's it going everyone? It's Non here and welcome back to another Steam 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at more weapons to help you reach that Fabled ranking competitive. I decided that instead of waiting a whole new season to make another weapons video, I'll instead do a quick follow up on the original video with some of the weapons that I missed and also some of the weapons that you guys suggested in the comments of that video. So if you guys didn't see part 1 of the best weapons to get to Fable, make sure to click the link in the description so you can go watch that first before you watch this one. Just like with the original video, the pinnacle weapons, the crucial pinnacle weapons, are disqualified. It's no mountaintop, no Luna's Howl. We're only going to be talking about weapons that you can get without actually reaching Fable. So, let's get started. Alright, so the very first weapon that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be the exotic hand cannon, the Ace of Spades. And a lot of people actually wonder why I didn't put this weapon in the original video. And it was just mostly because I didn't want to have just a bunch of exotic hand cannons. And I thought that a lot of people already knew that the Ace was amazing, so I didn't even have to put it. But hey, now we're going to be talking about the Ace. And the Ace is just amazing. You have range, you have more damage, you have third eye. It just has all the good things that you would want in a hand cannon. You can outrange all the competition. The 180s can't really touch you. Nobody really uses 140s that much. But even if they are using a 140, they can't really keep up with your range. The Ace just has some insane range and it's amazing. Momentum Mori also makes the weapon just a lot more deadly and a lot more forgiving. Being able to have those 5 extra damage shots is just huge. Especially since with Momentum Mori, you don't really have to hit 3 headshots anymore to get a kill. You can just hit 1 headshot and 2 body shots and you still will be able to kill the enemy. And that's what just makes Momentum Mori so strong. It makes an already pretty amazing weapon just even stronger and a lot more consistent. And on top of that, you also have Firefly, which you can use to do a little bit extra damage. It won't really get you that many kills. You may get maybe a little bit of damage off if 2 enemies are right next to each other, but mostly it's good because of the increased reload speed. And even if that makes the weapon good enough, on top of that, then you have third eye, so you can keep your radar up when you're aiming down sights. So you never really lose any awareness of your surroundings, even when you're looking at an angle. So yeah, the Ace is amazing, especially on PC. On console it's a little bit harder to use just because of the recoil and the 140s. But if you get used to the recoil, you can also do very well with the Ace of Spades. Alright, so next up we're going to be talking about Derrick Shotgun, and it's going to be the Balagan XU7743. This one is an aggressive frame shotgun, and it's a black armory experimental weapon. Meaning that you're gonna get this weapon from the forges or from dealing with the saboteurs that spawn around the map. So yeah, the only big problem with this weapon is actually getting the weapon to drop. There's just a lot of RNG involved with this weapon. First of all, you have to deal with the RNG of getting the weapon, and then the RNG of actually getting a good roll on the weapon. But if by some miracle you actually do have a good roll on this weapon, I actually really recommend that you use it. This weapon is very consistent and kinda reminds me of the Mindbender's Ambition when it comes to the consistency. And the kicker is that I don't even really have a good roll on this thing. I have a pretty bad roll, to say the least. And even then, the weapon still performs pretty great. So I can only imagine what an actual good roll with this weapon would actually be. For the perks that you're looking on this shotgun, it's pretty similar to the other shotguns. You're looking for some rifle barrel, or full choke for the barrel, looking for some accurate rounds to just make sure that you increase that range, some slide shot, which is gonna reload your weapon with your slide, and also give you a bit of extra range, that's pretty good, and also maybe some rampage or some auto-loading holster. Rampage is gonna make it a lot easier to get some follow-up kills, since you're gonna have more damage, meaning that you're gonna be effective at a longer range, or auto-loading holster is just gonna make sure that you always have your weapon reloaded, and you don't really have to worry too much about reloading the weapon. You can fire the weapon, switch to the primary, and then when you have to use it again, it's just going to be ready to go. And for the masterwork, of course, you're looking for a ranged masterwork, used to increase that one-shot potential on the weapon as much as you can. So the Balagan is a very solid shotgun that you can never go wrong with in the Crucible, with the only downside actually being, actually getting a good roll on this thing, or maybe just getting it to drop in the first place. But if you do happen to see a Balagan drop, definitely don't dismiss it, because it can be just an amazing shotgun in the Crucible. Alright, next up we're gonna have the bygones, the amazing pulse rifle. The bygones is still pretty good. The 390 pulse rifles in general actually still are pretty good in the Crucible. But the bygones is definitely one of the best ones in the kinetic slot. Actually, it might be the best 390 in the kinetic slot. And it's actually relatively easy to get. All you gotta do is just play some Gambit, and it probably won't take long to get a bygones. And the bygones is just an amazing weapon for medium range. Medium range is definitely the sweet spot where you want to stay with this weapon if you are gonna use it. Your time to kill is actually not that bad. It's pretty good. Especially if you have something like Rampage or Kill Clip, which you should definitely be looking for. With Kill Clip, you're actually going to be able to two-burst people with this weapon, just deleting them from the game. It's amazing. But like I was saying, you definitely want to stick to mid-range. You don't want to get too close, because you do have a pulse rifle after all. So things like the Lunas and the shotguns are definitely going to punish you if you get a little bit too close. But also not too far away where the scout rifles may actually beat you. Although, the scout rifles are not really that big of a problem, since you hardly ever see any of them. Most of the time, what you gotta do is just stay away from close range and make sure that nobody surprises you. And if somebody does get a little bit too close, you definitely want to have a good close range weapon, maybe a submachine gun, a shotgun, a sidearm, something that's good at close range, so you can actually counter them when they get a little bit too close. You always just gotta make sure that you got a bit of personal space and that nobody gets too close. But as long as you stick to medium range, you're gonna find that the bygones, it's pretty damn amazing. So for the bygones, you're looking for a couple of perks. You're looking for a damage increasing perk, something like Kill Clip or Rampage, and also some high caliber rounds. High caliber rounds are really gonna make the bygones just a lot better, being able to flinch enemies a lot more, allowing you to have the upper hand in some 1v1s. So with those two perks, a damage increasing perk and high caliber rounds, it can already make the bygones into a pretty good weapon. The rest of the perks are basically going to be preference, but I recommend looking for some arrowhead break for your barrel, and also some head seeker or outlaw. Those are also two very good perks. So if you're looking for a good weapon for the mid range, definitely try out the bygones. Alright, so now let's move on to some energy weapons, and we're going to be starting with an exotic shotgun, the Lord of Wolves. And okay, you guys probably have some questions. But hey, the Lord of Wolves is actually a lot better than people expect it to be. The Lord of Wolves is just a close range monster, and even at some longer ranges that you wouldn't think that Lord of Wolves will be able to kill people, it actually does. The range on the Lord of Wolves is very deceptive. It looks like it doesn't have a lot of range, but when you fire the weapon, you actually get to see the range on the weapon, and it's really great. It's actually just amazing. So it has some really good range, and it can also output a lot of damage in a very small period of time, meaning that you can actually do a lot of damage to something like supers, especially if there's some melee supers running at you. There's a chance that you can actually kill them with the Lord of Wolves, especially if you have the Release the Wolves perk, which basically doubles the amount of shots that you have in your burst. This perk, it's a bit weird. It can be a blessing because those extra bullets that you shoot with your burst may actually help you get a kill. And it can also be a curse, because if you do kill an enemy with the first couple of shots of the burst, you can't really stop it, and you're basically just wasting ammo at that point. And that leads us to probably the biggest downside when it comes to using the Lord of Wolves in the Crucible, and it's going to be the ammo. Ammo may actually become an issue, especially if you're not running 2 shotgun scavenger mods. So while the range of the weapon is very good, and it can output a lot of damage really quickly, it actually will run into some trouble with the ammo. So if you can actually handle the ammo situation, the Lord of Wolves may actually be really good. But if you start running into some problems with ammo, I definitely recommend that you switch over to another shotgun, even though the Lord of Wolves is pretty great. Alright, so next up we're going to be talking about the energy bygones, aka the Last Perdition. And I say that it's the energy bygones because it's very similar, not only because of the feeling of the weapon, but also because of the stats in the weapon. They're pretty similar, they have a couple of differences. One may have a little bit more range, while the other one has a little bit more stability, you know, a little bit more reload speed, maybe more aim assistance. But overall, they're pretty similar, they just go in different slots. And just like the bygones, the Last Perdition is a very good pulse rifle. That should definitely have your attention if you're looking for a pulse rifle. Just like with the bygones, this one's going to be pretty much a medium range weapon. You don't really want to get too close to people with it, but you also don't want to get too far away. Although your range might be a little bit better than the bygones, so you could push a little bit farther away, but not that much. You still want to stick to medium range and make the most out of medium range. So when it comes to the perks in this weapon, we're looking for something similar, kinda like the bygones. We're looking for a damage increasing perk, kill clip or rampage, but unlike with the bygones, with the last prediction we can't really get high calorie rounds, so we have to go for something else instead. So instead of looking for high calorie rounds, we're gonna be looking for something that increase our range. Something like rangefinder, or something like accurate rounds. You could also go for some of the other perks that you may like, something like under pressure to increase your stability, or maybe something like outlaw if you like reloading a lot faster with your weapon. A really good thing about the last prediction is that it's really easy to get. You can pretty much just turn in tokens to shacks and you'll be able to get it that way, or maybe just reset your crucible rank once and you could buy the render roll from shacks, which is a pretty good roll. You have accurate rounds, you have rangefinder, 2 very good range increasing perks, and you also have some rampage. So the render roll is definitely pretty good, and it will do very good in the crucible. So if you're looking for a pulse rifle in the energy slot, definitely consider the last prediction. It's a very good one. And the last weapon that we're going to be talking about in this video is going to be a shotgun. A shotgun that I actually saw mentioned quite a lot in the comments of the last video is going to be the retold tail. This weapon is a precision frame shotgun, meaning that naturally the pellet spread on this weapon is a lot smaller. It keeps the pellets used a lot tighter together to help you get more one-shot kills at some longer ranges. This shotgun is very consistent when it comes to killing people at 7 to 8 meters with one-shots, and it's very nice. The only bad thing about this one is that you could only get this one from activities in the Dreaming City or with the Dreaming City weapon frame from Ada. But that's pretty much the biggest downside of the weapon, and everything else is pretty great. Just like with those Rock Blues, you can pretty much max out the range in the shotgun with some rifle barrel, accurate rounds, and a range masterwork, and it's pretty deadly. If you have all those three, this thing is really deadly. And on top of that, you could still get perks like quick draw and slide shot, making the weapon even better. So you can never go wrong with Dust Rock Blues number 2. So if you're looking for a shotgun in your energy slot, this might be a very good one and a choice that you may want to make. And with that weapon, we're gonna end today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. If you guys think that there's some other weapons out there that I may have missed, leave them down in the comments below. Although I probably won't make another one of these videos, at least for a while. And before I go, I kinda wanna talk about sniping for a little. A lot of you guys said, why didn't I put any snipers on these videos? And that's mostly because of the state of snipers. If you're using a sniper in competitive, you're most likely already pretty goddamn good with snipers. So because snipers are kind of difficult weapons to use right now, with all the flinch and stuff in the game, that's why I kind of stayed away from it and just recommended some other easier to use weapons to help people get to the 2100. So that's why I didn't feature any snipers on these videos, because I thought they would be a little bit too difficult to use. But anyways, with that we're gonna end today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care everyone, have a good day.